The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. Yeah!
Hi, welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. In this episode, I'll be joined by Guy Erlich, who is the founder and president of WaterTech. We're going to go over the WaterTech cleaner lineup. Also, we'll touch on their new cordless robotic pool cleaners. And this is actually WaterTech's 20th anniversary this August. So the company's been around for over 20 years now, and I think it's a solid company with a lot of great products. You're going to hear a lot more about their products and their innovations in today's podcast. Pool Service Pro. Open a Leslie's wholesale account today and receive wholesale pricing on products you use every day. Leslie's Pool Supply offers convenient locations that are open 7 days a week. Another great benefit of opening a Leslie's wholesale account is Leslie's referral program. Get referred to a customer looking for weekly pool service. Also receive priority service, enhanced rebate programs, a discount on your general liability insurance through SPA, a discount on your pool routing software through Skimmer, and an opportunity to co-brand with Leslie's on your social media, website, truck, and more. Save time and money and grow your pool service route and become a Leslie's Pro. I'm joined today by Guy Erlich, who is the president and I guess the owner of WaterTech, I should say. And if you're not familiar with WaterTech, they make the battery-operated vacuums for homeowners and for the pool industry. So how are you doing today, Guy?
I am well. Thank you, David.
You want to tell the listeners a little bit about your background in the industry and how you actually created the company. And this is significant because this is the 20th anniversary of WaterTech.
So my start in this industry came at Aqua Products. So originally I graduated school in engineering. I went to work at Pfizer Pharmaceuticals for a few years. And at the same time, my father and his partner were starting Aqua Products, which is the manufacturer of the Aquabot robotic pool cleaners. As he was starting that business, I was kind of doing my career as engineering at Pfizer. And a few years later, he asked me to come join the company. And I did, and eventually became vice president of sales and marketing. And I worked there for about 8 years. And I guess in the entrepreneurial spirit that I guess is kind of built into my blood DNA from my father, I decided to leave and start WaterTech. This August 1st will actually be 20 years to the day that I did that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then the history of the company, you mentioned your background in industry. What gave you the idea that there would be a market for these battery-operated vacuums that you have over, I think, 30 different vacuums now?
So the idea came from looking at the home, right? So I looked at our home, nothing to do with the pool, and I recognized that we have kind of your dustpan, and then you have your larger vacuum cleaner for cleaning the entire house. And then at home, we also have a little touch-up machines, whether it be Black & Decker Dust Buster, whether it be Shark vacuum or a Dyson vacuum, a lot of times for just doing touch-ups. And I recognized that in the pool, we kind of had your traditional hose and telepole to vacuum, kind of like your dustpan. And then you had your automatic cleaners, your robots, your suction side, your pressure side type cleaners. And I realized that there was a void in between that I believed could be filled. And that's what generated the idea that I think we're missing something in this industry. I think there's an opportunity. And that's where I basically pretty much sold everything I had to create it.
Yeah, and today, I mean, you've been in a business for 20 years, which is a milestone for any company out there. I think the statistics are that most businesses don't make it past 5 years. Half of them fail within 5 years, or 80%, something like that. It's crazy.
Yes.
So to make it this far is pretty amazing. And we should address this because, I think it's definitely an accomplishment. And I think we should address this, that in this industry now, this year has proven that inventory and shortages have become kind of a way of life now in the pool industry, which we've never really experienced this. And I think in the next year, a lot of companies are going to have trouble fulfilling orders. How does WaterTech stand as far as inventory, having the vacuums, having the parts in stock?
We have everything. We are fully loaded and have enough inventory to supply the industry. And it's not because people aren't buying our products. That's actually causing people more to want to buy more of our products. What we've done is during the COVID pandemic last year, after everything kind of took a lull, and then the pool business opened up in a big wave, we at that time recognized that the industry is going to continue and that the sales are going to continue through at least into 2021. Now, it also helps that my wife is a PhD in pharmacy science and understands how these pandemics actually work. So that did help me to then have the vision to realize that this COVID that we're dealing with is not going away. So at that point, I said, okay, look, I believe that we're going to have this with us for a long time, and let's start ordering product now. So we started ordering product from manufacturers last May, June of 2020, which allowed us to have enough inventory and to be prepared for this year.
Yeah, which is what a lot of companies didn't do. So you're way ahead of the game. And I think that's reassuring for the listeners that if they're looking for a vacuum or even like a part, like a bag for it, they're not going to have to wait months to get a replacement bag for their vacuum.
No, not at all. No one's waiting for anything from WaterTech, and it's really been wonderful for our business because it has been recognized by a lot of our customers, and we've been told that how good that we are able to supply and have inventory. So it's been wonderful for our consumers and wonderful for our distributors and dealers.
And one thing that I like about WaterTech, and I've mentioned this to you before, is the fact that you really innovate and you always change your design. Just as a quick example, before the charging port was a little twist cap that you would take off to charge the cleaners. And of course, that may cause failures because not tightening the battery, the thing back on. So you went to basically a totally sealed motor box for the cleaners a couple of years ago or 2 or 3 years ago. So let's just touch real quick. I know we're going to talk about the different vacuums choices, but touch on some of the innovations. I mean, 20 years, maybe at the beginning. I remember that the Pool Blaster was like a yellow and black unit back in the day. So besides color changing and things like that, what are some of the things that you can speak on about innovation on your products?
So one thing that I am a stickler for, and I drive the engineering team crazy, and even myself team crazy, and everybody pretty much in the building crazy, is I always believe that we can do things better, right? And it's very interesting, right? Because we are the leader by far in this kind of category of making battery-powered, cleaners, right? So for me, there's an old-time expression saying, we're not going to rest on our laurels, which basically says just because we're the leader doesn't mean we can sit back and rest. To me, that means we're going to put the gas on more and do more to innovate and make improvements, right? So what we do with every one of our products on a yearly basis is we go back and we look for any reviews that we can find online, for whatever source that might be. And we go into our customer service and we go through all the details of all the different chats that we have from customers. And we gather all the data. But we don't go look for the good data. That's always great to hear how wonderful, how you love our product. We look for the bad data. We look for what are the pain points for customers with our products that we can make an improvement. Okay. And sometimes that improvement, may cost us more to manufacture the product. All right. And we don't necessarily always pass that along. But what we're doing is making the best user experience for the consumer. And we're finding that it's really paid off because customers, after using a product 5-10 years, will come back again, or they'll buy a separate cleaner for their pool, then for their spa. And now we're making robotic cleaners, which we'll get into, and people can depend on WaterTech and the products we make. So we're always looking to make improvements. So as you mentioned, the sealed motor box, right? So the sealed motor box that we made was because customers weren't always properly using lube to close the cap after a while because they need to kind of seal things. So we realized that the world today is becoming simpler. The iPhone, basically, people have one touch with a button and they get the whole world opening up to them. So we recognized that our products had to be made simpler. So in moving to an enclosed motor box, it allowed us to just make it simpler and easier and reduce steps for the customer.
Yeah, and I think the innovations really make your product look and feel more durable, which they are, of course, but just the whole overall look of your products has evolved where like your volt lineup, I should say, looks
Hmm.
more professional. And a lot of the pool guys will use the FX8 Li out there on the route. It doesn't look like a toy,
Hmm.
like some of the earlier models. So let's talk
Hey,
about the different
okay.
vacuums you have and how to choose one. So let's say we'll start with just the regular homeowner. I have an above ground pool I just purchased at Walmart. It's 5,000 gallons. I'm looking at your website for a cleaner and I see all these different ones on there. I don't know
Hmm.
what to get. So what
Hmm.
would be your recommendation for someone with that kind of setup?
So what happens at first glance, certainly it can be overwhelming, right? So not to compare us to General Motors, right? Because we're nothing in comparison in size to what they are. But if you look at General Motors as a company, they're a very big company. And then underneath that, they have a few major brands like Chevrolet, such as Buick, such as GMC, such as Cadillac, right? So then you have to kind of needle down. You realize, okay, what model Chevrolet do I want? What model Cadillac do I want? Those type of things. So it's kind of the same with our products as well. So there may be 30 different types, but one layer lower, if you go into our website, the products are broken down into the type of use the customer needs. So, for example, depending on how much dirt you have, how big your pool is, right? So, we have on our website, we break down the products into light duty use, medium duty use, heavy duty use, ultra heavy duty use, and then commercial duty use. And then underneath there, then we have different cleaners. But now you've already took those 30 plus cleaners and maybe broke it down to 3 to 5 different ones. And then at that point, they're kind of all in that same category. Let's say a medium duty use cleaner that you might want. And then you can decide which is the retailer that I want to go to. Do I want to buy this online? Do I want to go to my traditional brick and mortar retailer where I know the person behind the counter and they can give me the better product? So that's what we do. And also to brick and mortars, we do give a higher class product with better warranty, bigger filter bags, stronger motors, things like that. So that, they can kind of go to the retailer that they like. But all the different uses that we have are broken down from what we call our power rating, right? So how we figure out what a product is, whether it be a light duty use or a commercial duty use, it's all based on a particular theory that we have, which is it's about the power suction. So not only power suction, but it's our exclusive power rating measure to find out what the total cleaning efficiency of each model is. And the factors of that are the combination of the power, the technology inside, the debris capacity, the vacuum head efficiency, the warranty, and the accessories that comes with it. So there's a science behind it that helps to pick which cleaner, which category it's going to be in.
This makes perfect sense. So if you had like above ground fiberglass hot tub, 300 gallons, you would probably get maybe the catfish or the aqua broom or something like that. You wouldn't use
Yes.
that for a 20,000 gallon pool.
No, you wouldn't. Then you would go into more of a heavy duty use type cleaner.
Yeah. And so if they go to your website, the website is WaterTech, what is it
Corp.
again? Yeah, watertechcorp.com, and they can find all that listed. And by the way, your website is really excellent.
Thank
I go
you.
there all the time just to check to see what's going on, if anything new's coming out. At the beginning of the website, you have your most popular models, and they're listed there. And then you go down to the categories. And one of the ones that I think is really popular, we can touch on this one, is your battery powered leaf vac. And it's kind of like the Leaf Master leaf bagger type device that you hook up to a garden hose, but it's battery
Mhm.
operated. And those are a
Yes.
pretty big seller for WaterTech, aren't they?
They're huge, and it's something that even if they own any other traditional vacuum cleaner, not just ours out there, they can use the leaf vac. So whether it be they're just opening the pool in the spring and they pull back the cover and there's tons of leaves and dirt inside there, or in the fall when the fall may have come early and leaves start dumping into the pool, they can use it there as well. Because as we know, leaves can overwhelm any kind of automatic cleaner. So this just allows you a nice big bagger to get the leaves out. And with us, what we try to do is try not to be a Me Too company. We try to develop products that are unique and useful to the consumer, right? Copying other people's product is easy. Many people do that. But the more difficult part that we do is try to take something from the ground up that's never been done before, and create a needed product out there. And the leaf vac that we have is a really good example of it. What it does now, of course, is takes rid of the power being generated from the garden hose, and now at a push of a button through battery power, you're running the machine and cleaning the leaves out. So you have consistent vacuuming all the time, same amount of power. Really been a great product for us.
Yeah, and it's interesting how much power it actually has, because when you turn it on, it's got that propeller on top, and you're thinking, this thing is not going to pick up nothing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But when you put it in the pool, it actually just pulls everything in, just as well as the leaf bagger kind of thing with the garden hose. And, you know, nowadays the water pressure in many homes are regulated, so this is even more powerful than those. I use it all the time. I have the Riptide, the full vacuum system, but when I have a spot with like leaves in there, I'll just take this little thing back there and I'll put on an 80 micron bag that I have in my truck, and I'll just put it on top of there, and it works great. So it definitely is versatile. And then let's just back up a little bit. Now, the other vacuums, let's say the Pool Blaster Max, and then you have some that have like the Centennial Li that have a cone versus the bag. Now, the cone is a newer model. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe 3 or 4 years you came out with the cone type cleaners.
Yeah.
And these have a larger chamber. However, the bag type cleaners may have a smaller chamber, but they may pick up finer dirt. I don't know if that's a good distinction.
Well, what happens is they'll both get a large volume, right? So visually, a Centennial looks like it can get a lot more dirt, and theory maybe gets a little bit more. But what happens is that when the leaves come in, they kind of just float around inside the basket. When the leaves come into a max, they get just pushed into the bag. They kind of get layered up on top of each other. So they both can handle a lot of debris. It's mostly the difference really ends up being just a visual look and just a different methodology to vacuuming.
I guess the only advantage with the Pool Blaster Max or the bag type cleaners is the sand silt bag you can actually purchase aftermarket from WaterTech.
Yes.
And I really like the sand silt bag because I think it picks up finer dirt particles than the cone or the regular multi-layer bag. And so I think if you have that kind of debris, really fine dirt and sand, you may want to go with the bag types. You can change out the bag. Is that fair?
That is 100% fair, and I'm glad you touched on all the different bags that we have available, because again, we try to find what the user needs, and I learned that early on. So originally, the original machines actually had a much finer. The sand and silt bag was actually a standard, and in New York, that was I'm from New York, New Jersey, that was great. Right, because it was fine. Here we didn't have such fine dirt. It was more big stuff from leaves and this and that. But when I sent the cleaner out to the West to be tested, they came back and said the bag got clogged up because there's much finer sand and things like that you have out West. So we actually had to go with a less fine bag in the beginning, so the people that could use the bag that matched the type of debris they have in their pool.
The innovation, again, we'll go back to that you're always innovating and fixing things that not necessarily are wrong, but the consumer is pointing out things that they would like to have on their cleaners. And I think one thing that is a big improvement is when WaterTech went to the lithium ion batteries to give the cleaners a better runtime and a more reliable battery. You want to talk about the runtime? If you're doing we talked about sizing for the larger pools. Let's say you're going to vacuum an entire pool with it, which is definitely possible. I've done it many a times. Let's say, for instance, if you're going to do something like that, the runtime is important. So you would go with a heavy-duty type cleaner, right?
The heavy-duty cleaners do have longer run times, but even the medium class still runs for 45 minutes. So it's a combination of the medium class cleaners generally may have a catfish, a smaller bag, so you couldn't get as much dirt and debris in there. So that kind of changes it, and it's good to note that you brought up the change in battery technology, because original batteries were running on what's called nickel metal hydride, and those batteries had to breathe air. They had to they couldn't be in a sealed box. So that's where we, again, moving to lithium ion, got improvements in power as well as in durability, because we can seal everything.
Let's talk about the professional vacuum real quick. The Precision 2.0, which, by the way, is one of my favorite tools out there. And there's the guys in my group rave about it. There's a member in Arizona that just loves using it for all his pools because it picks up all that dirt, with the
Yes.
sand silt bag. And so he just uses it all the time to spot vacuum and vacuum entire pools because it does have technically a 1 hour runtime with the battery. The Precision 2.0, how did WaterTech think about the Pool Pro and the fact that we need something that is powerful? Would you say it's about 20 to 30 gallons per minute as far as the power? I mean, if you were going to do the power rating versus gallons per minute of water being pulled, is that a fair kind of assessment, or is it, as far as the power of this thing?
That's a fair assessment. Yes.
Yeah. So, we need that out there to pick up, to make our job faster and better. And it's so convenient just to drop it in there. There's no cords or anything, and use it like you would use a regular system vacuum. So what's the idea behind the Precision 2.0 and making it for the Pool Pro?
Everything we do has thought into it. Everything is really thought out, and we go through a lot of detailed steps. What we came to recognize for the Pool Pro, that there was a need out there, right? So a lot of the Pool Pros will use a Riptide or a Hayward, the
Hammerhead.
Hammerhead. Thank you very much. And so those are good products. People like them, and people are very dedicated to that. So, we didn't want to create another one of those, right? But what we found is in talking to a lot of service customers and going to the service trade shows and seeing what they had to deal with such a big size product and getting it on and off the truck and wheeling it into the backyards, we came to learn that not every backyard needs such a big cleaning. Sometimes you might come to a pool where you have a very, a light dusting or a light amount of dirt. So to wheel the big machine back there is a lot of work, setting up and so forth in time, where having a lighter handheld machine that can get in there and vacuum quickly, we found was really a benefit. So it's not necessarily going to, in all fairness, replace, let's say, a Riptide or a Hammerhead. I really see this as something as an add-on, as another tool for the Service Pro to get out there and be able to have both tools based on what it is. If a big windstorm or hurricane comes through, then you have the other product that you really can get up a lot more has a larger bag and so forth. So it gives them a tool to give them the variety based on the type of backyard, because one backyard may have tons of big trees around it and getting filled up, where the other backyard is more sparse, less trees, so they can kind of adapt. Or sometimes backyards are tough to get into, especially down like in Florida, where they have a lot of overgrown things, and it gets very difficult to get to the backyard. So this gives the option to get in there with a smaller, powerful vacuum that's nimble. For example, if you want to clean the spa, you'll have a much better chance of doing it with a precision than you do with a Hammerhead or a Riptide. You can actually get in there and vacuum in different corners that you're not then having to figure out how I'm going to clean that, where do I can do the whole pool. So it gives the service professional a really good tool to get out there and clean efficiently and fast and move on.
And we should mention that it does have another battery and a car charger, so that you can be charging one battery while you're driving and using the other one. So it's extremely versatile in that respect, that the runtime has never been a factor for me because I have the two batteries. And you also just recently upgraded the Motorbox Clamp. Now, I think the reason behind that, and I don't want to bag on the industry, but pool guys are probably like the least careful guys out there, right? Compared to a homeowner that would baby a device. We kind of just throw things in the back of our truck and we're not super careful. And I think WaterTech had that in mind when you redesigned how you take that battery out and put it in.
Yes, that's exactly it. So that's exactly what it is. The service guys, service professionals are abusive. That's really it. You throw things in the back of your truck. You take a turn, stuff goes flying in the back of your truck. So when we made the first designs, the whole machine was very good, except that Motorbox cap, we didn't really recognize how much abuse a machine could take, right? We figure if someone's paying, for this kind of machine, they're going to baby a little bit more, but that's not the case. So we redesigned the cap so that no matter what you want to do, you want to drop it off the back of your truck, it's still going to be able to handle it, and that's why the design was there.
Yeah, and I think it makes it, I mean, much more durable, of course, and it eliminates user error with the way the other one kind of flapped open, and so I think that's a great improvement. So basically, if you're a pool pro and you're looking at a vacuum that's in between system vacuuming the pool and using a Riptide or a Hammerhead or Power Vac, this is probably the device for you, I think, and I can vouch for it. I love using it all the time to do the vacuuming on my pool route.
Well, thank you. And there are some people that just have that type of precision because it's all they need for their type of route. So
Yeah, true. Let's talk a little bit about the WaterTech cordless robots. Now, this is a market that the major manufacturers pretty much haven't developed technology for one reason or another. And you went out there about 3 or 4 years ago with the CX1, and you decided that you're going to go with this cordless kind of cleaner. You're going to develop technology for it, put it out there. I really like them. Most people think the cord's a robot cleaner. Well, I'll back up a little bit. One reason why people go with robotic is they don't like the hoses and the tubes from the pressure cleaner in the pool all the time. But the robotic pool cleaner does have a cord, and so therefore, when you have it in there, you actually see the cord still. And the cord could be inconvenient for other things like surface solar cleaners, could get hung up, things like that. And the cordless cleaners, the vacuums are popular. As far as the cordless cleaner, where did the idea come from? And let's talk about the technology of the CX1 and the Volt 550 Li.
So really where the idea came from kind of goes back to the beginning of the company, right? So when we first started with the pool blasters, there were just really three major technologies out there for cleaning pools, right? You had your suction side, your pressure side, and your robotic cleaners. And we kind of introduced a fourth way to do it with battery-powered cleaners and kind of paved their own path, which is more difficult because you have to teach a lot of people along the way, why we have a special product. And we've obviously 20 years later managed to do that. Now, with the robotic cleaner, this is something we started 8 years ago. And as you mentioned, 3 or 4 years ago, you started getting samples for review. And even since then, we haven't really fully started to market it until this coming year because, for what I'm expecting from our business is top notch, 100% quality control, great product, which we have today after so many years. And part of the reason probably the corded cleaner companies haven't done is it's not an easy task. There's no question that it's very difficult to accomplish it. But my belief is that it's the future of cleaners in general. Because as you said, a lot of people don't want the cord. The cords get tangled up. I mean, you put a beautiful pool into your backyard, and now you have to have this ugly, basically usually their blue cable running into the pool. It kind of makes no sense. If you dump thousands of dollars into creating a backyard in your backyard dream, to have this blue cable going over the deck. But that's just the way it is. So here, recognizing that we've removed the cable and we've made a fantastic product that is able to vacuum the pool. And what I believe is that this is just the beginning of where eventually all automatic cleaners will go to, right? Just like 8 years ago we saw, but just like today, people see that the combustion engine is becoming less popular and battery-powered cars are becoming more popular. There's a certain green factor to that, but that's where the technology is heading. Here, I believe the technology will do the same, and it will be more of a mainstream to have a battery-powered cleaner than a corded cleaner.
And I think I was one of the first to test out the CX1 three or 4 years ago, and definitely the new models have been improved with the runtime, with the the cleaning ability. It's pretty amazing to see this thing in there. I've tried other battery operated robotic pool cleaners. They don't have the power nor the runtime of your cleaner. They're more of a toy type robotic pool cleaner, cordless cleaner. And yours is you can compare yours to just a major manufacturer branded cleaner that works just as well. I think we should mention the price point. A lot of that is because of the 2 large lithium ion batteries in there. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is a major cost of it. So we have a couple of things that we're doing there. One is two very large, strong lithium battery packs so that the machine will run at least 4 hours. The other thing we're doing is we're doing double the pumping of that you have in most traditional, even corded vacuums. So we actually have two pumps. So as you're going over dirt debris, it pretty much gets all of it in one shot, right? Where if you're a corded cable robot, you kind of have a second chance sometimes to go back over again. Ours, we do it all in one shot. So we really have a lot of power there. At the same time, it climbs the walls. It does a very, very good job. Also, there's a mix of rubber and PVA brushes on the front, which help it work in kind of any pool surface. As you already seen, the machine itself is a hefty machine. It's a solid machine. No chintzy plastic on there, and it's slightly wider than most traditional robotic cleaners as well. So you're doing a much wider swath of cleaning when you're going. But at the same time, because you don't have the cable to take the cleaner out of the pool and carry it away, you're probably about half the weight of the other robotic cleaners because you're not carrying this big cable anyplace. So it makes it so much easier, for the user. You don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. And so the CX1 is available online, and then the Volt 550 Li is the brick and mortar version of that cleaner also.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I think if people are in the market for a robotic pool cleaner, and I would consider this the high-end category because of the price point, because of the lithium-ion batteries.
This is the top of the category. I believe that certainly anybody could want to buy the battery power cleaner, but I believe that the Volt 550, a lot of people will buy it who've had other traditional robotic corded cleaners because they'll appreciate what it is to have a cord and then not have a cord. And I believe a lot of people have been down that road and had the experiences that weren't necessarily positive for them. We'll make them move to our type of cleaner.
Yeah, so we'll go back to the beginning when we talked about inventory. And so you're launching this lineup with the cordless cleaners, and so they're pretty readily available on the market right now, right?
Yes, we have dealers that are currently selling the Volt 550, and the CX1 is already available online. I consider us very fortunate that we started the process early and have inventory on everything. And again, it's not because of a lack of sales; it goes because of preparation that we did in preparing for what we thought would be a very incredible season for the pool dealer and for the consumers being home. And so it's just being able to look ahead and forecast what we thought would happen.
Yeah, so listeners can go to watertechcorp.com. I got it right this time. I botched it the first time. So watertechcorp.com, and they can look at all the models. And of course, a pool pro can get many of these models at their distributor. Leslie's has a lineup of these also. And I think they're readily available. And I'll vouch for these. I think I've used just about every single one of your cleaners. I can't think of any that I missed. They're just pretty much bulletproof now. You plug them in, charge them, and then when you go to use it, they're going to turn on, they're going to work, they're going to pick up the debris. One of the comments I get a lot in the videos is people are surprised by the power of them. They don't look like they would generate the power, especially the smaller ones like the Catfish and the Aqua Broom. It's really amazing because most old school pool guys were using the spa wand.
You can't see it right now, but I'm smiling ear to ear. And the reason of that is because I call that the wow factor. One thing that everybody on my team knows is I want that effect, that when the consumer, no matter what size product they buy from us, I want them to having that exact feeling that this is more powerful than they would thought it would be. Because looking at it, you think it's just a little dustbuster, but it's not. It's a very powerful little device. And, no matter what size cleaner they're getting, we want them to feel that. So I'm glad that you're seeing that people are talking about our products.
If you look at the reviews online, if you were going to buy it on an online store, you'll see the reviews are solid. I mean, 4.5, 5-star reviews. And look at WaterTech's reviews in the last 3 or 4 years. Extremely solid. So the products are well made. Most pool pros will vouch for your products. They save them a lot of time. They're extremely versatile and useful, and they couldn't get through their day out there without using your products in a lot of cases.
Well, thank you. That obviously makes things make me happy, and I think we are going to have some really great products, over the next few years. I have some other, what I think are going to be fabulous inventions that no one's ever done before. Because part of our goal at WaterTech is, you remember the V8 commercials? Like, I wish I had one of those. That's kind of what we're looking for. Something new and innovative, and I think we're going to be able to do that over the next few years. So, and you'll be the first one to be testing them. So, I'll get your opinion on it.
Yeah, well, I look forward to the new products and the innovations by WaterTech. So I appreciate your time to go over your products and the history of the company, and just to let the listeners know that WaterTech is innovating and is on the cutting edge of pool technology for sure.
Thank you, David. I really, really appreciate the time.
And to learn more about their products, you can go to their website, watertechcorp.com. You can also go to my website, and if you click on cleaners on the tab, you'll see I have a page of their cleaners also, and I've reviewed their CX1 and their Volt 550 Li cordless cleaner on my channel, plus just about every battery operated cleaner that they make has been reviewed by me for my YouTube channel, and I think they're coming out with some really great innovative products in this next season, and stay tuned for those, and I'll definitely be filming those for my channel and putting them out there for you so you get an idea of the new products that they make. And I think for a battery operated cleaner, they make the top of the line products out there for sure. If you also want to listen to more podcasts I have recorded, go to my website, swimmingpoollearning.com, and on the banner, there's a podcast icon. Click on that, and there'll be a drop-down menu of the other podcasts I've recorded. And if you're in the pool industry and you want to enhance your business, definitely check out my coaching program at poolguycoaching.com. A lot of great benefits for joining, including a discount on your general liability insurance. Again, you can learn more at poolguycoaching.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a good rest of your week, and God bless. Pool Service Pro. Open a Leslie's wholesale account today and receive wholesale pricing on products you use every day. Leslie's Pool Supply offers convenient locations that are open 7 days a week. Another great benefit of opening a Leslie's wholesale account is Leslie's referral program. Get referred to a customer looking for weekly pool service. Save time and money and grow your pool service route and become a Leslie's Pro.